So I have this overriding purpose. Now what intentions am I going to set? Because even though I want to live a very purposeful life, I needed to figure out what that means. So I started with looking at, what are goals that I have and how would I align that to my purpose? I had a very big desire to make a difference, like I said, in the area of teens and addiction. And so I grouped together with some other parents, and we decided the best way to do that would be to create a documentary. And the documentary is a half-hour PBS documentary about teens and parents telling their story. I also started writing the book and doing that type of thing. One of the other things that I had a goal to do, and an intention that I wanted to set, was to join a publicly traded board of directors. I serve on many nonprofits, but I also had a desire to serve on a board that is in the public stock market, if you will. One of the reasons why I had this goal is because I wanted to take my leadership skills and apply them in the boardroom. Another thing I think is part of my whole challenge, I really did break through the glass ceiling at HP, and I loved my career, very challenging career, really enjoyed it. But one of the studies that comes out of UC Davis every year shows that it's a study of the top 400 companies in California, and it shows that out of those top 400 companies, how many women are in board of director seats and how many women are in the C-suite, in the CEO, CFO, those types of jobs. And in 2008, it was 10.6, and in 2011, it's 9.6. We're actually losing ground. And part of it is, I left my corporate seat. I wasn't in the C-suite and, probably wasn't in that statistic, but I was pretty high level at HP. But I looked at it and I thought, what can I do to contribute here and still forge ahead for women and get a seat at the table? And I was appointed in July to the American River Bank Board of Directors, the only women serving on that board. And so, some of my intentions are still purposeful. I want to make a difference. I want to forge ahead, but also looking at ways I can contribute and make things, trailblazer, if you will. So basically, setting your intentions is a really big deal. And one of the things that I do every year, I've done this now, this will be my fourth year, because it was 3.5 years ago that I left HP, is I do a vision board. And I don't know if any of you have ever done that, but I actually take pictures, and sometimes it's pictures like family pictures or things that friends, whatnot, but also sayings and magazine drawings and whatnot, and I actually create a board, visual of all the things that I want to manifest, all of my intentions for the coming year. And just to give you an idea, this year, in the past year, I actually put a triangle, and I had mind, body, and soul. And so on the mind side was all of my business ventures, and then on the body was my triathlete adventures. I'm actually a triathlete, and one of my intentions that I set 3 years ago, as I left HP, I was turning 50. And I thought, what? I just want to be in really killer shape. I want to be in better shape than I've ever been. And if you hear all the things I'm doing, I have to have a lot of energy because I'm really busy doing all these things. Being an entrepreneur is hard. It's not easy. You know what? It's 24/7. I mean, people are like, oh, you're so lucky. Do you ever hear that when you have a success? How lucky you are? You know what? You work hard for your luck. Luck does not come. It's because we work hard, and we never stop. I come home from my meetings and meeting with people and networking, doing whatever, and then, my husband's like, what are you doing? You're in your office again. I got stuff to do. But you know what? It's with a huge, huge smile on my face because I'm doing every minute of what I choose to do, and I think that's the joy of being an entrepreneur. But one of the things that I did, like I said, was I decided I wanted to get in really good shape, and I joined a boot camp, Mama Boot Camp, for any of you who have heard about it. And I thought, you know what, I just need to get in shape. When I left HP, one of the things, my husband actually is a stay-at-home husband because my job took me all over the place. And so I wanted to do something really good for him, so we decided to take a trip to Scotland and walk the West Highland Way. And I was kind of a 1 to 2 mile jogger a couple times a week. I don't know what I was thinking because we went on this 96-mile hike in 7 days. We averaged 15 miles a day. A month afterwards, my husband said, I didn't think you were going to be able to do it. I mean, we started it. I was like 30 pounds heavier than I am now, high blood pressure, all this stuff. I just didn't think. I just thought, well, there's not that many hills in Scotland, but let me trust I mean, relative to the Sierra, if you look at the elevation, okay, I knew they were hills, but they were, anyways, we found them. And I thought, you know what, I just don't ever want to have a situation where I want to do something and I'm not in good enough shape to do it. So I joined this boot camp, and then they had a triathlon track, and I thought, well, that'll be a good way to get in shape, but I really don't swim. I mean, I know how to swim, but I've never swam to, like, get somewhere. And and I joined, I'll never forget, on April 4th, and 8 weeks later, I did my first triathlon. And lo and behold, I was swimming out in the middle of the lake and doing all this stuff, and did a half Ironman last summer. But the point is, I had that on my body part of the grid, and then on the soul part, I have all kinds of things about my family and friends, and just things that feed and nourish me and lift me up from a spiritual standpoint. And I really highly recommend, if you've never done it, it's very powerful. And I keep it in my office. I don't stare at it every day, but it's in my vision every day. And it's something that at the end of the year I look at and I think, wow, all these things happened.